And here's the other Sony CCD-SC55 Hi8 Handycam. And yes, this is a video camcorder, not a digital camera like the Maverick. Either way it goes, I told you I brought two of them, and I brought one knowing I need parts. I'm sure glad I did that because this one's screwed, and I'll show you that in a minute. Either way it goes, cosmetically it's good, and the parts that I need, like the LCD and stuff, are good. So we're good. At least the parts I wanted are good, and I'm gonna be able to get one fully working one of these finally. But either way it goes, I'll go turn it around, and you can see there the LCD off. I don't see no vinegar syndrome. The LCD is actually in really good condition besides the smudges and fingerprint. And we'll go and turn it on, and it does work as it's supposed to. And so if I can pull up the menu there, you can see it looks normal. It doesn't look like the other one where it was kind of all wonky pretty much. But either way it goes, it does seem to be working out. Tape mechanism, I can't say that. And I'm glad I was able to fix the other one. And here you go. Because the other one I could take the transport out of and essentially put it into this one. And I'll have one really nice condition one of these. And I'm glad I made that decision and did that because I knew you can't get parts for these transports very easily because it's only used in a couple models. You know, it's not the typical B mechanism, which I have plenty of parts for. Fortunately, is one of the unique ones, so I actually brought a second one on purpose, knowing that one's probably going to be broken. At least I can make one really good one, so that's what I'm going to do. This one has a good LCD. I mean, cosmetically, it's in excellent condition overall. Doesn't look like it has very many hours on it either. Unfortunately, some idiot jammed the transport, and I'll show you what I mean. So we go and lift it up in there, and you can see it doesn't do nothing. It's supposed to eject, but it's jammed up. And you can see right off the back, there's bent parts and everything. You can see that back rail right there is bent inwards. I mean, I see a lot wrong with it. You can see the guide's in the loaded position, but the other guide's completely missing. It's not even there. It's non-existent. And no, the pinch roller didn't fall out and jam the mechanism. I mean, it could be possible that that guide fell out and maybe it's what jammed it up. But seeing how that's bent and stuff, it either was dropped or someone, you know, forced it or whatever the case is. Either way it goes, this transport shot. Thankfully, I fixed the other one. The other one's fully working, so you already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear this thing apart, take the good transport, put it into this one or vice versa, and we're going to have a fully working one of these. So you can kind of sort of see what happened. Either the screws pop loose and transport dropped this way. You can see this is not even. It could have been dropped and shifted it and bent something. Either way it goes, you can see this is not right. This is leaning downwards more than that side, and it's not supposed to be like that. So something definitely catastrophic happened, whether it dropped, got banged around, or screw worked loose and the transport hit down and it got jammed up. Either way it goes, it's coming out, so it doesn't matter. Finally repaired the Sony CCD-SC55 completely. LCD, everything's working correctly now. I went ahead and took the LCD off the parts unit. This is actually the first one that I did earlier video of where I repaired the transport. And originally I was actually going to take the transport out of this one and put another one, but this one was in better condition, so I went ahead and repaired it fully. So now I got the LCD from the other one. Now I can actually tilt it, and you can see there it doesn't cut out, no problem now. The transport completely works correctly. I even took the head drum from the other one, which is this one right here, and the reason why I decided not to, because this one had cracks. You kind of see the cracks, and it started getting bigger as taking it apart. Pieces were falling out. The plastic's very brittle on this, but it's also been dropped a few times, so there was also a few bent parts. Not sure what happened to the transport. Likely it was dropped, but there was plastic bits falling out of it. I'm pretty sure the seller knew that when he sold that, and he sold it as is untested, but he probably tested it and knew the transport was shot. Instead of being honest, he listed it as is, and I paid quite a bit for it. That one wasn't cheap, but I got it because it came complete with all the accessories and cables and stuff, which is the original reason why I purchased it, because it came with the charger, came with the docking station, both cables, everything, and even 2 batteries and stuff, manuals for everything and stuff. So that's why I picked up that one, and I figured it would be good for parts, even though I saw in the pictures there was some cracks and stuff. I figured worst case parts, and thankfully I did it because I had a perfectly good LCD. I mean, this LCD is in perfect condition. There's no scratches, there's no vinegar syndrome on it, nothing. So works perfect. The flex cable, of course, is good, and we're gonna go and play. And you can see there, now it tracks perfectly and everything, because I actually took the head drum from that other one, the broken transport, since it was in better condition and cleaner, and put it into this one. I did a full alignment, and do alignment on these, not easy. It literally took me about 3 hours to repair this camera fully, to get it torn down, clean up everything and stuff like that. This was not easy at all. But either way it goes, the reason why I took the head drum from that one, besides the fact that it was in better condition, was the one on this one, even after I repaired it, certain tapes, like this tape especially, it would play fine sometimes, and sometimes it would lose tracking. It's not because the guides are loose or anything, because I checked all that. And I also made sure I tightened the set screws when I did the alignment originally. It's because for some reason there's probably stuff, assuming the head cleaner that was on there for the auto head cleaning system, that probably likely got inside the drum and not just on the exterior and stuff like that. And every time I would put a different tape in it for a second, it would take time and miss track and stuff, and then eventually it'll come back around. But either way it goes, because it's a CO unit, I can't take the upper head drum off to clean it or whatever. It was just much easier to take the head drum off the other one, put it into this one, and it works perfect, of course. I had to do alignment, of course, but either way it goes, I'll go and show you the results, and you can see there, much cleaner now. Still shot, so if I go and pause it, you can see the freeze frame. It's very good now. No more issues. If I go ahead and scan forward, you can see it's pretty clean. Of course, scan backwards, it's still pretty clean. No more issues whatsoever, and I played a few tapes through it. I actually had this running for about 2 hours just to make sure everything's good. And of course we get audio too, so I can turn up the audio. And you can see there, no more cutting out, no more nothing, so it completely fixed the issue. Okay, so we'll stop this. We'll go and go forward. Okay, we'll just fast forward it a little bit. And you can hear how silent it is now. There's no clicking, no nothing. It's nice and silent. Transport was fully rebuilt. And we'll go right into play. Okay, we'll go and stop and forward it some more. We'll go to the other scene. Actually, yeah, because I'm not used to these. That one's paused. That one's fast. There you go. Let's forward it some more. And you've seen this test tape. I used in my sharps and everything else. Let's go and go fast forward. And this was the tape that the other head drum was having problems playing back correctly. And you can see there, we get perfect playback now. And I can pause it. No problem. And then we could stop it, actually. And go fast rewind, and you could hear it. Yep, it took a lot to get it to this point, but now it's fully working. The LCD works properly. Camera, everything, it records, it plays back, so it's a good camcorder now. Okay, and we'll just stop it, and we'll turn it around so I can show you how it looks in the front and stuff. And you can see there, There's a few little bits, things here and there, but it's pretty clean overall. And you can see there. So yeah, this one came out good. All this works, of course. Yeah, but working on one of these, I gotta say, compared to other Sony Handycams, this one's one of the hardest because it's not easy to get one of these apart. It's not like the other Sonys where you got the 3 screws and the whole transport drops out. This one here, you gotta take the frame off around it. You gotta take a few PCB boards out. There's different size screws and everything else. It's still pretty easy compared to other brand camcorders and stuff, because Sonys are always the easiest to work on, but not as easy as the regular Sony Handycams. But either way it goes, it's fully prepared, fully working, so pretty much this concludes the video, and thankfully it was successful. Now we got a working LCD, so I won't call this a fail no more.